Okay, what if I told you that the secret weapon for your company's success might be hiding in the one place you'd least expect it? Nope, not R&D, not marketing. We're talking about human resources. Yeah, I know. For so long, we've pictured HR as the department of policies, payroll, and paperwork. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you how that old school view isn't just outdated, it's actively holding businesses back. So let's just ask it straight up. Is HR really just about the hiring and firing and all that administrative stuff? Thinking about HR that way is a lot like having the latest, greatest smartphone and only using it to make phone calls. You are missing out on almost all of its real power. And we're about to see what happens when you finally unleash that power. Just look at this contrast. On the one side, you have the old view of HR, constantly putting out fires, seen as a cost center, buried under a mountain of paperwork. But on the other side, that's the new reality. HR as a proactive partner, a genuine value creator that's laser-focused on driving performance and, yes, profit. This isn't just swapping out a few words. It's a complete revolution in how we think about business. So how do we get there? How do we make that jump from the old view to the new one? Well, it all starts with completely rethinking what HR's mission is in the first place. If you're a manager, I bet this list looks painfully familiar. Hiring the wrong person, it can wreck a team's vibe. Watching great people leave again and again, it's a total drain on morale and knowledge. These aren't just HR issues, they're massive business problems. The old administrative HR can maybe put a Band-Aid on them. Strategic HR, it can prevent them from ever happening. All right, so how did HR make this leap from a simple support function to a strategic powerhouse? Let me tell you, it didn't happen by accident. There were some huge global forces at play that really pushed this incredible evolution forward. And here it is, the core idea. Strategic HR is not about random perks or feel-good programs. It's about deliberately, intentionally designing every single decision about people to directly help the company hit its biggest goals. So let's say your company's ambition is to become the absolute leader in innovation in your field. Well, strategic HR's job is to build you an army of innovators from the ground up. This whole shift was really forged in the fire of massive global change. Globalization opened up a worldwide war for the best talent. Technology just exploded, creating jobs that we couldn't have even dreamed of a decade ago. And as work became less about what you can do with your hands and more about what's in your head, people, your employees, became the single most important asset. The old reactive HR model, it just couldn't keep up. No way. Okay, so if HR is now a key player in the big game, what's their playbook? How do they actually take a company's grand vision and turn it into reality, one person at a time? Just think of it like a GPS for your company's talent. Step one, you got to know where you are now. What are your team's strengths? What are their weaknesses? That's the assessment. Step two is setting the destination. What kind of company do we want to be? Then, step three is the turn-by-turn directions, the actual HR actions you're going to take. And finally, step four, you're constantly checking that GPS to make sure you're still on the best route to success. But here's the million-dollar question, right? How do you actually know if your people strategy is paying off? You can't just cross your fingers and hope for the best. You need cold, hard data. And this is where modern HR starts to feel more like a science. They aren't just guessing anymore. They're using things like workforce analytics to find hidden patterns in who performs well and why. They're doing HR audits to make sure everything is running smoothly. And they're benchmarking to see exactly how they stack up against the competition. It's all about replacing I think with I know. And the whole point of all this, the ultimate goal, it's to draw a direct, undeniable line from your people to your profits. It's about being able to prove, with numbers, that investing in your employees isn't some fluffy, feel-good expense. It is one of the smartest, sharpest business moves you can possibly make. Now, to make that connection crystal clear for everybody, HR pros have a whole suite of cool tools. They use strategy maps to literally draw the links between HR goals and company goals. They use an HR scorecard to track all the key numbers like engagement and turnover. And they put it all on digital dashboards so the CEO can see in real time exactly how HR is adding to the bottom line. So let's see how this all comes together when the rubber meets the road. Because when you mix this strategic playbook with that data-driven approach, you create something incredibly powerful. You create what's called a high-performance work system. A high-performance work system is kind of like a symphony orchestra, right?
You can have the most brilliant violinist in the entire world, but if they're not playing in sync with everyone else, you just get noise. Well, it's the exact same thing with HR. All your different practices, your recruiting, your training, your pay, they all have to work together in perfect harmony to create a masterpiece of performance.
So let's take a real-world example. The legendary hotel company, the Ritz-Carlton. They had a huge challenge. In a super competitive market, how could they take their already famous customer service and kick it up to a level that was basically untouchable? That wasn't a marketing problem. It was a people problem. So what did their HR team do? They didn't just tweak a few things here and there. Nope. They orchestrated a complete strategic overhaul. They totally re-engineered their hiring to find people who just had a natural passion for serving others. They built intense new training programs to give them the skills to create that wow experience. And they created new ways to reward their staff to keep them motivated and loving their jobs. And the result of all that work? Profits soared. But it was more than just money. Employee turnover just plummeted. Customer satisfaction scores shot through the roof. They created an army of loyal fans. This is the ultimate proof that strategic HR isn't a cost. It's one of the most powerful investments a company can make, period. Okay, so we've covered the theory, we've looked at the tools, and we've seen the proof. Let's bring this all home and really solidify this new vision of the HR professional as your ultimate strategic partner in business. You know, this new role requires a completely different kind of HR professional. They have to be strategic positioners who get the business inside and out. They need to be credible activists who can actually get people on board with new ideas. They're capability builders, developing the next generation of leaders. They're change champions, guiding everyone through tough times. And of course, they have to be technology proponents, using data to back up every single decision. But listen, if there is one single thing you take away from our time together, let it be this. Building a winning team, that's not just HR's job. It's every single manager's job. HR can give you the playbook, they can give you the tools, but it's you, the manager, who's on the field every day leading your team to victory. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. What is that one huge, audacious goal your company could finally crush if you stopped thinking of HR as just a cost center and started unleashing the full strategic power of your people? The answer to that question? Well, it just might change everything.